Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
PDG YK. Thank you for sparing the time with us for sharing your insights in futures of education. We are all members of the Rotary family, so my question with you is, as Rotarians, what can we do to impact changes in education for the future?
Well, thank you, Rosa, for your question. As Rotarian, we can do a lot in education. Education is one of the 6 focus of service. So there are a lot of scope to get ourselves involved in education.
I agree that it is important that all the Rotarians should work together.
Yes.
Through scholarships, donations, and service projects around the world. So my next question is, what role can Rotary play in devising a future-proof education system?
I think future-proof is a very big word.
Yes,
well, let's come to that later. As Rotarian, the way I see it is, I'll bring in a word which is international. I would divide international into two segments. One are those regions that are well-funded and those regions that are not so well-funded. For those well-funded regions, the government pay for schools, subventions and so on. So the role of Rotarians will probably be as mentor, as advocates of needs for education. And to look after our children. But for those regions that require funding, our role might be different. We may have to organize building of schools, promoting literacy, and things of that sort. In fact, it is the aim of Rotary International to promote basic education and to fight illiteracy as a means of achieving world understanding and peace.
Now, I'm sure that all Rotarians follow the Rotary motto, service above self, and are committed to changing lives and instilling ethics in the next generation. But on the other hand, the world is changing and changing fast. So what do you see are the key challenges for educating our young people in a complex and unprecedented world of changes?
Wow, that is tough. Predicting the future is always tough.
Yes.
Yeah. Change is a constant. I mean, we have to accept that. So for Hong Kong, for example, one way is to teach them the skills. But equally important are the values. The values probably will not change as a result of what goes on. Skills you probably have to pick up now and then. So skills, values, you have to go back to school now and then to fine-tune your skills. These are the message that we need to give to our young people.
Now, we have been talking about creating a sustainable future, including including the tackling of climate change and reversing the natural laws. So what hindrances or obstacles are you most concerned about for achieving a sustainable future?
Tough question. You should address that to the government.
Indeed.
Things like climate change, smart cities, whatever. I think the government should take lead, because the private sector or the NGOs the non-governmental sectors, there's only so much which we could do. So we love to work closely with government. We can help with advocacy. We can provide ideas, counsel, the necessary international context, and bring all the parties together.
Yes, collaboration.
Collaboration. Yes.
Now, UNESCO has been inviting submissions of artistic creations to depict what education, learning, and knowledge might look like in the year 2050. So, looking forward to 2050, in your opinion, what should be the collective purposes of education?
I think the purpose of education remains the same, is to build up the person, instill values. It's the skills or the way that we tackle, that we do things might differ. For example, a year ago, we did not expect that today we are Zooming. I should put it this way, a lot of elderly people, and I'm one of them, did not expect that they have to use Zoom, and so frequently. So that's life changes, but the values are the same.
Exactly. Now, technology has impacted almost every sector of life today.
Yes.
And education is no exception. How should humans to position themselves in the learning in an age of advanced technological advancement?
The curriculum helps. A good curriculum design helps. I'm a believer of liberal education, balanced education. I'm not criticizing technical oriented education. It's just that we move along with the advance of technology, but never forgetting the human side of things. I mean, Rotary deals with humankind. So that's something we need to remind our young people, that however advanced our technology is, it serves people. So there's always a human dimension to this sort of thing.
Yes, we should bear this in mind. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic and the connected economic recession have changed many things.
Yes.
Now, what do you hope most from an education system that can prepare humans for an uncertain future?
It's back to what I've said earlier. We need to we need to look at the purpose of education. Emphasizing on truth, intellectual independence,
Yes.
appreciation of other cultures,
Yes.
and philosophical traditions, and how to think beyond the current paradigm all the time. I think COVID-19 gives us a very good example how we change, embrace the human side of things without knowing that we've changed, and we get on with life.
Yes. Now, the need for leadership development has never been more urgent. So companies of different sectors, they realize that in order to survive in today's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environment, they need leadership skills and organizational capabilities different from those that helped them succeed in the past. So PDG, my last question is, how can we educate the next generation of leaders?
The next generation of leaders, now I'm not an expert, I need to...
You are the expert. You are our PDG.
I think the exposure are important, widening the exposure. The days of intensive classroom teaching and learning might be a thing of the past. And I think Rotary has a role to play in helping young people to get exposed to the things that they need to be exposed. Look at the community. What does the community need? I think Rotary has a role to play.
Yes, definitely. So we are all here to help the young people in the future. Yes, okay, thank you very much. Now, PDG YK, I know you are a busy person, and we really appreciate you taking the time to share your inspiring thoughts with us. Now, the interview reminds me of an old Chinese saying, 聽君一席話，勝讀10年書.
I don't think so.
Listening to the words of a wise man is superior to studying 10 years of books. So, once again, thank you very much, PDG YK, for your time.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you very much.